These are my olives, but how can you tell if they're ripe or not? And then how do you harvest them? Hello to all the farmers. I hope you're all doing well. Today with Marco Penitenti, we're going to analyze a series of olive groves to understand when the olives are ready to be harvested, because you'll realize that the matter is much more complex than it seems. So let's start from the beginning. So how do I know if the olives are ready to be harvested?
Good question. So the olives are October and November the ideal months for harvesting. So we still have a pretty wide, broad range. It depends on the varieties, it depends on the stage of ripening, that is the maturation of the olive. And here we have a perfect example of the ideal harvest time for a lecchino. So
let's go for a moment and see specifically what ripening is.
This is the lecchino olive, lecchino variety. We are in a stage of pre-ripening and ripening almost halfway, because you see that...
To clarify, that's kaolin on top, not mold.
This is kaolin, and as you can see, the lecchino turns black as it ripens, and the tip of the olive is changing color. Let's say the skin, the epicarp, is starting to turn black. Let's take another one instead, which is fully ripened, like this one. Let's remove the usual kaolin again, and as you can see, this one is completely black. If we cut it open, you'll see that the flesh under the skin is soft because it splits easily and has a wine-like color.
Okay.
This is the perfect olive for harvesting.
Okay, like this.
At this point, you can easily perform this simple test by squeezing it with your hand.
That's oil, it's oil.
This is oil and water combined, which will obviously be
clear, separated,
extracted, divided. This is already oil, and here we have an olive at the perfect ripeness. You can see the oil. It's clear that on a tree, among all the olives, we shouldn't have them all like this. We should have maybe half like this and half black. So in this case, this is an olive in the pre-veraison stage, because you see the flesh is still firm, and even if I squeeze it, you see it's hard. But the mix between this one and the one we saw before is perfect.
It's perfect.
It gives exceptional oil, really top quality oil.
So that's fine. We've seen the veraison, but a lot can happen between October and November. I mean, it's not like with grapes where I check the sugar level and harvest right away. Is it the same with olives?
No, it's not like that, because the olive is a fatty fruit. We don't have the same complexity as with grapes. There's the possibility to do micro crushing, so you can harvest a small amount of olives to understand the oil percentage, the yield, the quality, and so on. But that's something for very structured companies. If we're talking about a private individual or a very small business, the perception is based on the visual state of the olive. So when it starts to change color slightly and the flesh becomes soft, that's the best moment.
If I harvest the olive at the beginning of October or at the end of November, what changes in the oil?
The difference is that the veraison, meaning the ripening, is completed, and the plant no longer produces oil inside the olive. If we leave the olive on the trees for 2 more months, it's exposed to the weather, possible frosts, and strong winds. So we could lose both in quantity and quality, because then the olive becomes overripe. So it's very earthy. The oil's noble components like polyphenols, vitamin E, and antioxidants decrease. The acidity rises slightly, so the more you postpone it, the more dangerous it becomes.
So do I increase the yield because in October I have a lower yield, but I have stronger aromas, so I make higher quality oil, right?
Exactly.
The oil for production, so for quantity, I make it at the end of November, let's say.
So I also make quality oil in November. The October and November weather must be perfect, or else, let me repeat.
Okay, so
if that's not the case, because then, let me repeat, especially in November, the temperature drops, strong winds can come, rain, so you can still lose some of the properties inside the olives.
So, coming to us, it's not a rule that November oil is low quality oil.
No, absolutely not.
It's an oil that we produce. It's a bit of a jackpot, because if it goes well, the season can be just as good as the oil from October.
Definitely.
After seeing the climate changes, seeing he doesn't say it, but he understood. I laugh because it's funny, but it also makes you want to cry. But 10 days ago, a week before the harvest, there was a really heavy hailstorm. Here it was gone.
Adding insult to injury.
And so you understand why we move things up.
In some towns around the lake, even 50%
So, I mean, it was actually a good year anyway,
Yes, absolutely.
because the blooming had been excellent.
These are the bruises inflicted on the olives by the hail. Yes, hail, and you can clearly see them at different levels, but let's cut one open. Let me...
Hail.
Yes, yes, hail, and you can clearly see them at different levels.
But let's cut one. Show me what's underneath.
For example, this one, and that's the concept of early harvesting. You see, it took a hit and it's starting to form cork. And in a few days, especially if it rains, in this area, some fungi will start to form that will attack the damaged part.
What did you give it? Really gave it right after the hail, as soon as it was possible?
I gave it right after the hail, as soon as it was possible. Dry plants, propolis, if we cut it open,
Damn it.
you can see it fully underneath.
Gone.
Gone. If we cut another one, maybe slightly smaller than this one. This one cut, you can really see the hit. And the area here slowly, it rots. It's clear that the more time passes, the more this thing starts to rot, fungi and bacteria start to form, and it really starts to oxidize.
So, after hail, immediately propolis, but harvest quickly.
And harvest quickly, yes. So, in this misfortune, it happened close to the harvest, so by now we've already started.
Because of the hail, you end up losing half of it.
Yeah, in some areas we even lost 50%.
Yeah. Mamma mia, okay, we understand when it's ripe, but we can't just look at ripeness. We know it's a long summer, and during the summer, we have the fly. So my olives have already been affected a bit by the fly. They've already been touched, so there's no point in making a video about how we could have protected ourselves from the fly. What should I do? The fly?
It is one of the most dangerous threats to olive trees and olives because this insect completes its entire life cycle on the olive. In cases of severe infestations like this year, the fly affected not just here, but also much of northern and central Italy. From around July 10th or 15th, it was necessary to start intervening, so to cover and protect the plants. Until the day before yesterday.
How many treatments did you do?
I did 9 treatments with kaolin.
In fact, if you look here, I'll tell you in advance because later they'll say they're bare. It's just that they're very white because you're still treating them, I mean, not now.
Not now.
But up to 15 days ago?
But until 10 days ago, we did the treatments, then we did 9 of them. Because the second part of the summer was also rainy. Okay, so Laulino is a rock powder. If there's rain over 30 mmmi, all the kaolin comes off. We reapply the kaolin. This is an olive hit by the fly. You see the exit hole of the larva, which means it has become an adult insect. This means that this olive has gone through the complete cycle. The egg was laid, somewhere the larva developed, ate the inner pulp, completed its cycle, and an adult insect developed and came out.
Okay.
In fact, if we cut it open, you can see the trace.
Damn, Orlin.
Of the cave.
But what's the problem? It's not so much the track that rots.
So, the problem is definitely the track when there's a live larva inside. It's clear that with a heavy infestation, you end up with the worm defect because we're crushing olives with the larva inside.
Because the larva remains inside.
Alive, in this case, instead it has come out. If we harvest early, you see that the oxidation around the cavity is still very limited. It's the hail, I mean, it makes the impact, but...
Contained, it's the hail. I mean, it makes the impact, but...
Exactly, it's very limited. So this is the secret to still getting good medium quality oils from olives that have been sculpted by the
olive fruit fly. And how do I get the worm out? You told me that in some cases the worm stays inside.
No, you can't do it. Get it out. If we harvest carefully, is it still possible to make extra virgin olive oil even if up to 30% of olives are affected by olive fruit fly? Yes, it happened to me the other day when I harvested a garden for one of my clients who asked me, shall we try? Let's get started right away. 1st of October harvest, we made an oil from olives infested with about 30 to 35% fly, 0.36 acidity.
So we're good.
It's clear that we're not at the level of excellence we're used to. The 0.10, 0.15, but remember extra virgin olive oil can reach 0.8. We got 0.36.
So not even halfway there.
Yes, these are definitely oils that will have fewer polyphenols. They'll be less stable over time. They're oils that need to be consumed.
But harvested at the beginning of October right away.
Right away, immediately. You can't afford to let these caves get infested with fungi and maybe even start the development of leprosy. Because then right there,
You throw everything away.
you toss it all and make lamp oil.
Quick summary, what does kaolin do? Does it turn the olive white? Actually, the fly can't see the whole plant because it gets confused, so it goes somewhere else.
It's a color confusion and also a misrecognition of the olive scent.
Okay, so even on an olfactory level,
Even on the olfactory level.
perfect. But let's go back to my question. I mean, I was touched by the fly.
So,
I might have given him propolis. So if it's healing, what should I do? I get the hailstorm here. I see it. It was still less affected. What do I do?
in these cases, it's best to try to harvest as quickly as possible. So you should bring the harvest forward to prevent those bruises from causing corking and creating even more damage to the olives. Or even fungi like leprosy can settle in, which then go on to completely destroy the olive pulp.
Here we have a stage of evolution, right?
Here we have the stage of evolution. Negative, that is an olive hit by the fly with the insect's exit hole. The same olive, let's say it then degenerates because it's hit by fungi and mold develops around it.
It causes drying, not rotting.
It rots,
It's not dried.
it's rotten. I'll show you this one by cutting it open. Of course, inside there's a whole cavity, but you see we still have some flesh.
We can still save this one.
We can save this one if we harvest it right away.
Okay.
Immediately. We must not get to this situation because here, if instead we cut this,
But let's say the second one, oh my goodness.
here you make lamp oil. That's it.
I mean, as much as it's lamp oil, I mean, basically,
On top, it's abundant.
no, for the candles of the accessor.
Exactly. Here you're above 1.5 degrees of acidity. When we get to this situation, it's completely pointless to think about harvesting. In fact, a respectable oil mill.
But is that the worm?
This here is the larva. Yes, that's the pupa's casing because the fly came out from here.
So we're making a protein oil.
Let's say a proper oil mill.
When they see this stuff,
They shouldn't even accept it. I'll stop here. Just a few olives are enough to contaminate even the healthy ones.
what do you mean?
I mean, when I was telling you earlier about a 30% olive fruit fly infestation, a pure fruit fly attack, and we still managed to get extra virgin olive oil here, just a few olives are enough. Even maybe the 1, 2, 3% that turns into lampante.
All of it?
All of it. So be careful with the mass.
I mean, they managed to.
Yes, because in the end you see that all this stuff ends up together with everything else and totally contaminates it.
The oil is there because it stays, so it can mess us up. But I mean, it extracts something really bad.
No, it extracts something that's not edible because lampante oil isn't edible. Go.
With the lit candles.
Yes, or it goes to refining to make other things.
In case there was a season where I was damaged by hail or a moderately severe fly attack, it's better to harvest early, even if the ripening isn't perfect. Harvesting early, I have a lower yield, but at least I bring that home because if I wait, a series of fermentations can start. They get damaged so irreparably that I end up with nothing.
Exactly, that's precisely the point. So I actually prevent the formation of fungi, and that way I still have olives that are healthy in the remaining pulp, and they make up for the damage caused by the olive fly or by a hailstorm.
So during the harvest, I have to use strategy. I mean, harvesting olives is pure strategy,
Yes, of course.
right?
The olive harvest is pure strategy. Absolutely based on what I have, I adapt. If the olive is perfect and the weather is nice, I manage it, also considering how many days it takes me. But if I have an olive that's been affected by the olive fly, I don't pay attention to anything else and I have to harvest as quickly as possible.
So to recap, now, over these 15 to 20 days, we've uploaded 3 videos. The first is a guide on harvesting. The second is to understand. This video on when olives are ready will be released soon. You may already see it out. So a guide on how to deal with the oil mill, what to ask, how to choose it, and so on. In these, let's say, 3 videos, you know, how to manage in the complexity. So if you start to have one of these situations, harvesting at the right time to do it, you need to figure out how to harvest. But above all, you'll need to book the oil mill and take care of your relationship with the oil mill. Keep in mind, I'm telling you this from experience, that fortunately some oil mills, if you bring them olives that aren't perfect, that are spoiled or have a lot of olive fly, they won't accept the olives. That's actually good, because those who work well.
This is a good thing that's spreading, and I hope it keeps spreading. Because delivering olives that clearly produce oil that's not even extra virgin, but probably even lampante, is absolutely useless for anyone.
We'll talk about it in the third video. We're giving you a preview. Why is it important? Someone might ask, why should I care if it's not my oil? It's not just about dirtying the machine. The problem is that the end of every production, so what I bring in, my olives, enter the mill, my produced oil. I always have the head, so the beginning, which is someone else's end, and I always leave a little bit of the tail for whoever comes after, because the machines run continuously. The mill is never emptied. So that means if there's not enough oil, I risk contaminating my oil with oil that's of very low quality.
Absolutely, yes.
So you understand that it's a problem. That's why we have to be fully aware of when the olives are ready, when to go and basically do the harvest.
Exactly.
Now, today we've been pretty clear. Let me remind you to subscribe to the channel, because if you subscribe, you'll stay updated on the release of the various videos. Farmer, see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.
Bye.